Good evening, Wonders. Welcome to the Wondering Hour with Mom and Dad, a cozy corner of the night where your questions drift in like lanterns and together we follow wherever they glow.
How are you doing this evening, Mom?
I would like to say overall, much better. I think our house got a nice dose of illness that lasted what felt like many, many moons.
Yeah, too many moons.
Yes. The boy got RSV, influenza B, and strep throat. You got the stomach bug. I got a cold before that, and then after that, we went through many doses of medicine, and it was just so many sleepless nights and crabby kids and crabby knees.
Yeah, going to work sick, it was not fun.
Oh no. Yeah, I was not my best teacher, so. Well, also it was a full moon and those kids were crazy, so it was just overall a wild time. I think I'm on the up and up now. I think I'm the very end of it, and so hopefully I feel a lot better than where we were.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, everybody else is, I think, fully recovered, so yeah, we're just kind of waiting on you now.
Yeah, we got through our last dose of meds, and yeah, everyone's on the mend. Still got some sniffles in there, but
yeah, we'll get through it. All right, let's jump right into the first question then. Right. What profession do you think is the most undervalued today? And before you can answer, I need to jump in and steal what you're about to say, because I wholeheartedly agree. And it feels biased coming from you.
No, it doesn't.
Teachers are definitely, by a mile,
without a doubt,
the most undervalued profession today. By, again, a mile. There's nothing else in the question. The things that would be in the question, I think, are like nurses, doctors, things like that.
Yeah, those come into mind because they work long hours and they do things and whatever.
But
and
yeah,
at the same time,
the recently in recent years, with like COVID, all of the front lines support that was going around.
What was it? Essential workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But it's like support the frontline people, the people that are dealing with all the sickness. So that, like, there's never, at least in my memory, there hasn't been a push like that is like, go out of your way to thank a teacher anywhere you see them.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite, when everybody was home with their kids and they're like, oh God.
Yeah.
I realized what they're doing all day.
Yeah. So,
you only have your 2 at home.
Yeah.
Try having 20 of this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely, no question in my mind, that is definitely teachers.
Well, I like to say, obviously, as a summary for teachers, is tell me one other job that you have to prepare for work, to go to work, to have something to do all day at work, to come home and then set up what you need, reflect on what you did at work that day, and then set up for work again tomorrow.
Yeah.
One other job that's even remotely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But don't wear jeans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you weren't even really, like, you were doing a daycare program, I think, at the time, something along those lines. But there was one week that I put in a 40-hour week, cutting papers, laminating things, hole punching things. Like, it's astonishing. And the fact that if I wasn't there and unemployed at the time and free to put in a 40-hour week, that is just 40 extra hours that you have to find somewhere in your week, on top of your 40+ hour work week, on top of your planning that you need to do just for teaching them. It was,
well, and I love that that's not an arbitrary number. Like, you timed it out, and
it was a
a full-time second job.
Yeah, absolutely.
To support my day at my full-time job.
Yeah, it was absolutely wild, and that was why I did it, because I was a few hours into it on the first night, and I was not even close to being done. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm going to pay attention to this. I'm going to figure out how long it takes. And yeah, because had to be close to 1,000 total, like, laminations. It was probably like 800 or 900 something laminations. Unique 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper laminated, and each one of those took like 20-25 seconds to run through the machine by themselves, and then to cut them out and Velcro, circle, all it was absolutely wild that is something that a person could expect someone to do on top of their full-time job already. And yeah, that's, for me, that's why there's no doubt in my mind that it's teachers, because again, the Teacher Appreciation Day or month or whatever, they have that exists, but
yeah. And again, I think COVID was a big part of, like, the first time people were really like, I see.
Yeah. I did significantly less than that in the military, and on Veterans Day I get a free meal at how many ever restaurants. I don't think you've ever gotten a free meal for being a teacher.
No,
so.
I mean, I get 20% off of a basket at Target.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I do love a basket. So, I mean, they got me there, but, like, give me a basket. Yeah. One free basket for teachers. Yeah. Show your badge. Yeah. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, hands down.
I gotta tell you about these baskets. I saw at the store the other day. They're like metal. They're supposed to be Easter baskets, but they're really sick. And when we go shopping later, you should make this. Yes. Sorry. So, anyway, I love a basket. I love teachers. Teachers do good work.
Yes.
They're the best.
Support your local teachers.
Support your local teachers.
For sure.
They're working harder than you.
Yeah. At least if they're not working harder than you, which is a long shot, they're working way more underappreciated than you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Without a doubt.
Yeah. But before we get into the next question, Wanderers, don't forget to follow us on Spotify so you never miss a new question. And if you want the extra moments, the gut questions, the cozy chaos, and the memories, come find us on TikTok and YouTube. We'd love to have you there. Keep wondering with us.
Awesome. Well, quick serve, what's your favorite ice cream topping?
I have not talked about this on the podcast yet, but it is something that is core to my human being, my body, my soul.
Caramel?
If something can have caramel on it, smother that bee in caramel and call it a day. Oh my gosh, I love caramel. I love soft caramels. I love the hard candies that like old people have that are caramel. The Werther's Originals.
I was gonna say Werther's,
yeah,
but then I was like,
not a sponsor. If you enjoy our content, you can sponsor us though. The hard caramels, soft caramels, the like cowtails, the caramel with the cream stuff in the caramel, for sure. Caramel. I put more caramel in my ice cream than I have ice cream in my ice cream.
I'd like a bowl of caramel with a hint of ice cream.
Yeah. I just put my caramel in the freezer for 30 seconds. Thank you. No, yeah, for sure. Caramel, hands down. Caramel cheesecake. Love me some caramel.
Cheesecake, heck yeah.
Donuts.
I wish I had a better answer to this. You think that there would be like something that would come to mind? Because like I put stuff on my ice cream. I'm not like a plain ice cream person. I feel like I'm more of like a flavored ice cream person rather than like give me vanilla and put things on top. However, I think one of the things that stands out to me the most, probably because like I worked in like ice cream shops, and what I want to do all day is get paid to eat cookie dough bites.
Cookie dough bites, yeah.
So like I think that's probably, if I can have cookie dough, that's what I want.
That's my Culver's concrete mixer order, is a concrete mixer with caramel and cookie dough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Close second. I like cookie dough in fewer things than I like caramel on.
That's fair. That does make sense to me. Because, I mean, I'm like a plain chocolate person, too. That was both of my pregnancy cravings was just chocolate shakes. Yeah. Not a malt, a shake.
I found that out the hard way. I thought they were the same thing.
They're not.
I was sorely mistaken.
It's a big deal. So, yeah, that's a big one for me. I like a chocolate everything. I'm not too picky, though, but, yeah, I could eat cookie dough bites all day. I could eat cookie bites till I was sick. And then I'd still be eating cookie dough bites. I'd throw up to eat more cookie dough bites.
There's when I was growing up and my family would go to the movie theater, the box, red and yellow box of cookie dough bites, the chocolate. I would always get those. I love those.
I got those recently on Father's Day when we took the boy to the movies, and he decided he didn't want to sit at the movies. He wanted to walk around the movie theater, and so I got a box of those and just walk around and ate cookie dough bites.
What a dream.
Yeah, I gotta say, definitely, I think I'm too old to just be like out here eating cookie dough bites. That box made me sick. But
sweet.
They were very good.
Yeah.
Definitely a shareable treat, and don't eat a box in a sitting.
Yeah.
That was a learned experience.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not that big of a box, and what, I'm here for a movie?
Yeah.
I can't eat this box in 2 hours? That's nuts.
I think that would be like mommy and daddy tax some away from the boy at the movies.
I'd be
I don't think that I would ever eat a whole box again.
Yeah.
That's
a young people trait.
I definitely used to think that, like, parents being like, oh, that's too sweet for me. I'm like, you're crazy.
Oh, and yeah, that's a shift that happens.
Yeah, that's wild, because I didn't see it coming. That was the one thing
And I like sweets. Yeah. I like a lot of sweet. I can definitely have that, and I do eat things where I'm like, my teeth.
And I made a change to, like, dark chocolate, so it's not as sweet.
Still a no for me, but yeah.
The, like, salted caramel, so it's, like, salty and sweet.
I do not like salted caramel.
That's crazy.
Don't. I try. I so hard. Like, they get, like, the Ghirardelli packs, where it's like, here's all the different flavors, and one's the salted caramel, and every time I open it, like, I'll eat it, but every time I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Which is, like, talk about no self-restraint. Yeah. Like, just don't eat that one. Give it to someone else. But it's like, well, then I only get 2/3 of a box of chocolates that I already don't want to be spending money on.
I like I don't know what you would call it, but that's a weird thing. I like the, like, flaky salt, like the flakes of salt, when there's, like, salted caramel, and then on top of the caramel there is the actual, like, you can see. It's not just caramel with salt mixed in.
Which is also funny because you aren't, like, a salty person.
I like McDonald's fries, or any fries for that matter. I'm not a fry person because they're just too salty, and it's like salty for the sake of being salty. But if you can do the sweet and salty mix, I've recently started seasoning as I go with our cooking instead of, like, salting all at the end like I used to do. And that I've been putting way more salt in than I would at the end, because it kind of, like, cooks and moves and changes the flavor of things. But that I've been getting more accustomed to salt. But yeah, I'm not a salty person. I'm not out here eating fries and enjoying them. Yeah. Because it's just too much.
Well, weird things that happen to you in adulthood.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, I still eat, like, handfuls of jelly beans and then, like, immediately go to sleep. But like, yeah, there are times where I'm like, I gotta cut this off, man.
Yeah. All right, I think we'll move right along to our next question then. Who would you love to collaborate with, and on what?
I think you're shocked to hear this. It's Taylor Swift on anything. Yeah. I just want to be in the room where it happens, you know? But I think the thing is like, recently people have been talking about, like, Taylor Swift, and she does, like, paintings for, like, family and friends. And, like, I would just like to be a part of, like, the poetry writing. I want to know what that looks like, you know? Are you just, like, writing down all the snippets of things that you think about, and then you're, like, sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to form these into a mass thing? Or do you, like, go on a feeling, like just dump that you write all this out and you're like, okay, then I'll fine tune, or I would just love to see what that process is like. I don't even need to help, so it's less of a collaboration. So let me just watch it in my. But I mean, I'm someone who really likes writing, and I can't even imagine what that writing process looks like, and to just see.
Yeah, and that like. In that specific instance, and I'm going to talk about an adjacent thing with Taylor Swift. Again, it's like you said, it's not so much that collaboration, but to be in the room, to hear the thought process, to be able to understand how her brain works when she is doing the song mashups that she does, that they covered in the docu-series that they did for the Eras tour. That for sure would be one. That's not my answer, but that spinning
moving
off
on
spinning off of what you were saying, like that would be a really, really cool thing. Again, not to collaborate with her, but to like, if you could like implant a speaker in the side of her brain and all of her thoughts would get played out that speaker, so I could understand what was going on in her brain when she was doing that. That would be such a cool thing to witness.
Yeah. And like, again, not that I ever could, but like, if I could just be like, here's one like quote thing, line, whatever, that I'm just like, here, let me pass this to you. I would love to see what she would turn that into. Like, what a dream. What a process.
Yeah, she
a girl can dream.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. And that would be fun, just to be in the room where it happened. To be a fly on the wall for that kind of situation. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I think for my answer, as many of you know by now, this is our 10th episode. I'm a huge nerd.
I did not know that.
I'm a huge nerd.
I think you've only done this like 10 times.
Yeah. Every episode, at least once. So for me, there is a YouTuber who makes shocking, maybe would be the right animations, by the name of Papa Meat. He and his, like, I don't know if it's a friend group or if it's people he's hired and grown to trust over the years or what, but he has a Magic the Gathering channel called Meaty Magic. Not a sponsor, but I really enjoy his sense of humor. Again, I'm not sure if it's his friend group or what, but they all have just a special tie right into my funny bone. Watching them play Commander is a fun thing that I get to do probably every couple weeks when they release a new episode, and that would be fun to sit at the table and play a game of Commander with them, joke and laugh, and I think that would be my collaboration.
Fun.
A little bit of magic with a YouTube celebrity, if you will.
I feel like I'm not recalling who this is, and I feel like you make me watch a lot of YouTube content.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever showed you his magic content. Uncle would probably... He was the one that got me into Papa Meat. So while we were there playing board games, he might have had some of the animation stuff on, and it's a pretty recognizable style. If I showed you an animation, I'm sure you'd be like, yep.
That's fair. Usually the stuff that he shares is way overstimulating for me, so I just try to like focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah. But yeah,
I got a one-track mind.
Yeah, if I showed you the animation, you'd know, and it's so wild. I enjoy the animation again, but it's definitely shocking. It's rough for the sake of being rough type stuff, but those still have a very special tie to my funny bone. I really like his content, and then I saw that he had a magic channel, and I immediately jumped on it. And yeah, the people that he plays with, whatever. They also are just exceedingly funny, and it'd be cool to hang out with them. Maybe at a MagicCon in the future or something like that, if they're doing a meet and greet.
Yeah. And you never worked those guys.
Yeah. What a dream.
Awesome. Well, where do you cut costs when you need to save? And you can say magic.
I can't say magic. My first thing when I'm like, man, I really need to put away some money, is I like to like log all my subscriptions and see the ones that I use often, see the ones that I don't use often enough to justify keeping them around, and see the ones like that I haven't used in months and I'm still paying like $10 a month for Wizard 101 or whatever, and I haven't played it in 6 months. I'm like, oof, could probably cut that. That could have saved me a little bit here and there. That's always my first go-to, and then my second is, you and I have had this talk a lot, is eating out. Reining that in, getting it down to once a week, maybe, I think would save us a lot of money over the course of a year.
I mean, granted, not this week or last. Yeah. But like we've been doing really good at that. I mean, I think
since
the first
start
couple
of the year,
months of the year we barely ate out. So I would say that's usually my first answer as well.
And there are a couple other follow-up things that if I'm really hurting, but usually we don't get into a position where we need to do more than that. We can just kind of cut a couple of subscriptions, save $20-$30 there, and then cut eating out down to once a week or not that even, and then save $20-$30 a week. That way, and that'll usually get us to where we need to be. I don't think we've ever been in such a pinch where we're like, now it's only ramen for a week or whatever, 2 weeks. Which is nice. I think a big one, absolutely. A big one for me is the little treaties. As the government would say, quit buying your $7 coffees and your avocado toast or whatever. I'm really good at being like, well, I'll just grab an energy drink and a little snack on my way. And it's like, okay, well, there's $10 you spent on breakfast for 3 days this week. Everything is a little treat for me. The little coffees for me are usually where I need to go, and it's like fine because I just make it at home, but whatever. You and I are both not bad, but a thing that we do often is like the ADD tax of like, I went shopping today, I should reward myself type thing. I do that so much. It's like, or like,
I'd pay like $2 to $3 more for a pre-made meal than I would like making a meal. Because I'm like, the effort is not worth that for me.
This week in specific, last week, like you said, I'm like, I haven't eaten out. I've been so good, so now I can eat out 2 or 3 times and go from there.
We had like a bunch of social events, and then again, like kids were sick, and so we were just kind of getting by, and we had so many other little events that we were doing that it's so easy to be like, oh, let's just go out here, let's just go out there. And that's usually the one that gets us. And it's so funny because prior to the last couple weeks and everything getting, we were phenomenal about it. So
and I just need to get back to that. It's that kind of like New Year's resolution. You kick off strong, and then by March you're falling off, and then you need to come back and figure it out.
And again, I mean, that's the thing. Just because we slipped off doesn't mean we ruined it, and we can absolutely get back to it. We've done it before, and I'm not worried about that. Maybe after some sushi.
Maybe not for me though. That was the night when I caught the stomach bug, not from sushi.
I was gonna say, I don't think it was.
No,
sushi.
It was not the sushi. I can confidently say that. But that was, and so I had the stomach bug that night. I think it'll probably be a couple more months before I can get back to sushi.
What a bummer.
Sadly, because
I feel like I don't need to suffer because of it.
No, I wouldn't expect you to, but that was rough. I really enjoyed that sushi, and then I enjoyed it less the second time around.
That tracks.
All right, let's hop on to the next question here. If you could have someone serenade you over a candlelit dinner, who would it be?
First off, I have to say the idea of serenading is awkward as all heck to me.
Yeah.
I don't like people singing me like happy birthday. Like I don't like casual, like whatever. I genuinely don't like to be around people singing to me. It kind of just gives me the heebie-jeebies. So, and like the candlelit dinner is an interesting concept as well, because it kind of insinuates that it's this romantic scenario, and I just, again, I can't really think of anything here that I'm looking for.
Yeah, that like, I'm gonna be honest, like it's just the whole idea of serenading over candlelit dinner like gives me the ick.
Yeah, like let me eat, man. I'm here for dinner.
Not even that, like I thank you for singing me a song, but like I would much rather just be talking to you and making jokes and laughing and all that stuff, and like candlelight is fine and good, but whatever, man. I don't
have a good answer for this. I would love to know what other people would say.
Yeah, and there's obviously the Sabrina Carpenter for men and most women, I'm sure. Many women, I'm sure, that would be like a conventionally attractive thing that would be cool if they were serenading me over a candlelit dinner. But like, I'm just so not interested in.
Yeah, the whole scenario just feels very awkward to me.
Yeah, just to sit there and smile, like, happy to be here.
Yeah. And again, serenade is such a specific word rather than like sing you a song, because like Taylor Swift could sing at me while I eat food, but like to serenade over candlelit dinner is a whole different experience that I just
specifically singing to you. Well, not.
I imagine it being like shake it off, and I'm like, steak dinner. So I just don't have
stake it off.
Oh my god.
I'll see myself out.
Let's take a minute of silence here to recover from that moment.
Be right back. Technical difficulties.
So I don't have a great answer for that one.
No, sadly.
That's my justification, really at least, for it.
I don't. Yucky question for me, but I'm sure somebody, if you have an answer for it, get it to us in some way, shape, or form. Email it to us, comment on our TikTok, whatever. Yeah.
And if you would like to serenade us over a candlelit dinner, don't.
Please, for the love of God, don't.
That'd be a funny prank, though, huh? For anyone else to do to us.
We're out to dinner. Yeah. And it's like
it's like a flash mob, but it's just everybody starts
the wait staff just like comes out of nowhere, like the lights dim down, candles on the table, and someone just like steps out of the shadows and starts singing to us, and then we just have to sit there with the stupidest grins on our faces. Oh god,
I would die. Yeah. I'm already so embarrassed at the thought. That's so funny.
So much cringe. Internal, just like
I love that. All right, well, another fun one. Do you think horoscopes are real?
I think we talked about this.
I think it was the last one.
Yeah, the last episode. I'm not sold on them. I think that in general they're too general to be.
Yeah, and that's how they work.
Yeah, that's how you hit the most, and that's very fair. And again, like we talked about then, if reading your horoscope in the morning and it being like, today's the day of great change, you should take that leap, is the only thing that gets you to apply for that job that you want, but you just don't think you can get, and you're like, today's the day, the horoscope said it. Like, do the thing, man. Like, I'm super happy for you. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum, for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely not a person who reads my horoscope. I'm not a person who puts a lot of stock into them. But again, that's just me personally. If that's your vibe, I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. Whatever gets you there, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. Yeah, I said before, I've been a horoscope girly. I have less time to check and care about it now because girl be busy. I just think it's a fun thing. Again, a lot of self-reflection. I love a horoscope. I love the personality test. I feel like it gives me an opportunity to think about myself.
Yeah, I really enjoy personality tests. I feel like those are more kind of backed by science, and the things are less like today will be a good day. Type thing. It's like, here's how you interact with the world, and I really, really like a personality test. But yeah, horoscope not so much.
Yeah, that feels fair. I can agree with that. Yeah. Again, I used to check my horoscopes a lot and religiously, and I was absolutely girly. That I was like, well, I can't come on my horoscopes. I'm gonna have a bad day.
You had when we first started talking again, you had me download some kind of app, and then it would give me a horoscope. You would have your horoscope on your phone, and then it would give us our combined horrors, and that was weird.
I loved that. I thought it was so fun. And yeah, they'd be like, oh, check in on whatever friend today. They're gonna need a little extra care, and I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, as time goes on, I just have less time and stock to put into it, and
yeah, with your 3 full-time jobs, you're preparing to be a teacher, you're being a teacher, and you're being a mom. It's
I'm busy.
It's just too much for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I think they're a fun little thing to do. Again, if you want to read my signs, I want my whole chart read.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things that fun, wouldn't put too much thought into.
Yeah. But, and again, if you're into that.
Yeah.
Anybody, I'm not
down
here to tell
for
you
it
silly.
too.
But yeah. How do you describe millennials? Now, I'm going to preface everything I'm about to say with we are millennials.
They weren't going to know that if you didn't say it.
We're so young or old, whichever way you were leaning already.
Yes, we're hip.
Yeah.
We're very old.
Unhip.
We must be very wise.
Yeah. So when they're asking this question, it's how do you describe your age group? Is really what they're asking.
Yes, that's a great question. And I wish I had reflected on this more.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump in really quick.
I'd love that.
What I wrote down in the book, because whenever I'm grabbing the questions for the week, I transcribe them from the book, so and we're not out of the questions we've already answered. I wrote down cringe.
Yeah, that's fair.
And entitled. And I think that to an extent, both of those are true. Growing up in our age group, there were many people around us that was just we deserve this, blah blah blah, whatever. However, also since then, and to include the younger and older generations also, there's just so much unprecedented stuff going on since we've been born that it's just how are we meant to the global pandemic into...
Well, that's so funny because I'm going to piggyback on that because I was thinking resilient in a way.
Yeah.
We are in an ever-changing world that, we were old enough to be cognizant for 9/11. We were there to watch this rise in the internet, rise in cell phones, rise in technology.
Yeah. Because I remember
we were there when Google started.
Yeah, I still remember running around the forest behind the house, and I don't think I could get the boy to do that if I wanted to now. It's just such a different time, and like you said, we were there for all of it.
Yes, turn of the millennial, Y2K. There we go. That's the one. Pandemic for that one. I mean, the whole world's gonna end in 2012. Not the tip, but I mean, I feel like it's just been one thing after the other. I mean, it's been a constant, and yeah, every generation has its own stuff going on, and I can't imagine what the next generation is going to look like, but we've just been on such like a ever-changing, like, turning axis, and
there's been very few like long spans of time where there's not been something in upheaval.
Housing market crash.
The recession, which like that happened in 1920, but that's like.
Well, yeah, but we had our own little 2008. Whatever.
And that's like the older generation lived through the Depression.
They had their own stuff going.
And then
World Wars.
World War, stuff like that. But yeah, it's just, there's so many things in our lifetime that has just changed so much that I feel like, not that it gives us a pass or anything, but there's just like, where were we meant to build a foundation? Yeah, absolutely. We start setting up for school and 9/11 happens. We start setting up for high school and we're in a recession. We start setting up for adulthood, and the world's supposed to end in 2012. We start setting up for real adulthood, and we get locked in a global pandemic. Like, there's no time for us to set up the foundation that we need to build and go from. And again, that's not an excuse for any crappy behavior from a millennial.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, there's just been.
But I think, based on all, we're less entitled than we think. I think we're just trying to make the best of the worst of it. Yeah. At least that's kind of how I view it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my opinion has changed, I think, since writing in that book.
I agree.
Because I did used to feel like we were pretty entitled as a generation, and I'm seeing that less now, and I'm starting to think that maybe that was projecting from other generations.
Yes, they told us we were entitled, so we started to feel like, oh, we must be entitled.
Yeah. And I don't have any evidence to back that up, so don't take that as gospel or anything. Yeah. But I definitely feel very differently now about my generation than I did when we were originally answering these questions.
Yeah, I would agree. Now that we're older and wiser.
Yeah, very old and very wise.
Yeah, I agree. Well, good. Next question. What have you ever ran from that you needed to face?
That's such a hard question to answer. I feel like there are so many things. I think in my gut reaction, and I don't know where we landed on talking about this. My gut reaction, I think, was my divorce. That was something that I was like, people being resistant to change. It was something that I knew needed to happen, but the change and upheaval that it would bring, I was not ready for. So that was something that I tried to escape kind of for as long as I could muster that in my head and in my feelings of like, it's gonna be okay, when it definitely wasn't gonna be okay. And so that's probably my gut reaction. And then a more general answer, and something that I think we can all relate to, is just like life. There's like taxes or whatever, like you just kind of put it off because you don't know whether you're going to make money or have to pay in money this year, so you try and like run away from that, but you need to face it, otherwise next year it's double worse or whatever. So there's those things, life, having to pay bills. I'm sure you responsibilities you run away from. There are so many things that I feel like that you try and run away from and you just can't. You need to turn and face them. I think those are my two. Second one's kind of a cop out. First one's more personal, but
Yeah, no, I agree. I would say a very similar answer. I feel like my last relationship was one of those ones that I really sat there and I'm like, I guess I could do this forever, which is such a weird mentality to get into because you'd rather be upset than change everything.
Yeah, I cannot remember. The pain to change has to be less bad than the pain of staying the same in order for you to want to actually take the action of changing. And the pain of change, because we don't know what it is, I feel like we always overestimate how bad that's going to hurt, metaphorically.
Yeah.
So then we think that the pain of staying is less painful. And then you make the change because something forced your hand, or you just actually finally got the courage up to make the change. And then it never hurts
Yeah.
nearly as bad as you thought it would.
No. Yeah, I think, there was definitely hard moments, but it was such a breath of fresh air at the same time. And you don't think it's going to feel that way when you're in the moment. And so that was a big one for me.
Yep. Yeah.
So I would agree with that. And I guess like a lot of the ones, another answer I would give is a lot of like reparenting. If that makes sense, like looking at where, how I grew up and like how my family interacted and things like that, and to like really sit there and be like, no, maybe that's not the approach that has to be taken. That's just the only approach that you know.
Yeah.
So that was something that it's easier to be like, well, this is just how life is, rather than like sit down and be like, how could I do this better?
Yep.
I think that's one that I really needed to. I've worked on it a lot, especially as getting older.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an easy one to, for sure.
Especially, now getting into parenting myself. And it's like, there are things that I do that I see from my childhood that I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't like that growing up. I don't need to do that.
It's so fun to come from such different backgrounds, because there are so many things that happen with our kids that I can call back to a memory of like me doing that to my parents or something like that, and then I can pull from that of what I want to do. Generally it's with a few tweaks, but what isn't. I'm not my dad and my dad isn't me, and we make our own choices. And I'm not my mom and she isn't me, and we make our own choices. So there are so many things that I pull from how they parented me, and then implement, where I feel like you have so many things where like that was not the right answer. So now I get to learn from that and do something completely different.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see that kind of come out in how we parent our kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like, you really get to build on that learning experience you've had, whereas I need to reflect on that experience that I've had. I feel like, immediately the, like, angry man in my house comes out, and I realize, I'm doing that now, and I don't want to be doing that now. So that's such a moment for me to be like, whoa, fix it. Which is easier said than done, and again, it's usually afterwards. It's definitely, that's the part that sucks. And there are sometimes where I can approach it better, and there are days where I'm like, oof, I gotta do that differently. But that has been a hard one for me to face, especially as parenting. There's so much reflecting on my own parenting and growing up and how to change it.
And I feel like that's the toughest part of parenting, because I make the wrong call, and in the moment when I'm making the wrong call, I know I'm making the wrong call, and then to like wheel that back, because there's been times when like the boy and I have been having like a stubbornness match, and then he will do a thing, and then I raise my voice, and I'm like, no, that's not the right call. So then I bring my voice back down. I get down to his level. I apologize, like right there, right then, be like, that was not the right answer. And I think that is I wouldn't be able to do that when I was 18. Back to our like, like I am the adult. I am right. Even if I'm making the wrong call, I need to back the wrong call until like you're not here. We get out of the situation, and then we can reflect on how to make it work better in the future, maybe. But now I don't like let my ego get in the way, so I can take those moments and be like, "Whoa, Dad messed up. I'm sorry."
I think it's so easy to like lock in on that like power trip, and then to sit there and be like, "Is this the fight?"
Yeah,
like
we had that. You've said that to me. I've said that to you. I'm like, is this the hill we're gonna die on?
Yeah.
We've had those in front of the kids of just like eyebrow raise. You know what I'm saying, but I'm not actually saying it out loud so they don't know.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You've done that to me, and it's like, oh yeah, no, this isn't. You can have a second string cheese, dude. I don't know why I got crazy about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a great question. A really personal one, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Now on to another very personal question. I think, by definition, what makes you unique?
I didn't prepare for this.
Yeah, if you've been listening to the episode for 10, or the podcast for 10 episodes, I think you know.
Yeah, I think my voice is probably one of them. Number one.
Yep. And I think your positive attitude.
I think. I have a very energetic personality, which happens at any time of day. So that I think that is something that's very unique. I feel like I would work places and strangers come up to me and be like, I'll have what she's having, which is like a funny thing, and I'm like, okay, cool guys, I'm just like this any time of day. Like you find me, this is I can do this at 3 a.m. I can do this at midnight, 9, 4 in the afternoon. This is all the time. Like, and it's interesting because a lot of people perceive that as a general like fakeness, and it's like, yeah, I'm Irish man, and it is what it is. So I definitely think that that's one of those things that make me unique.
I think one of the things that makes me unique is positive attitude. That's an easy answer. I feel like I'm just, again, like terminally positive.
That's right.
Also, I think that another thing that makes me unique, that's much more personal to me, is my like sense of and level of loyalty. Like the loyalty that I expect from the people around me, and the loyalty that I give in return to those people that offer me that. I've said it, I'm sure, a dozen times on the podcast already, but loyalty is so important to me. To know that I can come to you with anything, and it's not like I'm gonna immediately turn around and tell my friends or anything like that. I'm a person who, especially in friends, very much believes in quality over quantity. If I have 3 people in my life that if I call them noon, night, 9, whatever, and they're there, I would much rather have that than 100 people that will look at my text and then turn their phone away and like move on. If I have 1, 2, 3 ride or dies, that when I say, hey, you don't get to ask questions, but we're gonna go do some stuff, and they just hop in the car and buckle up. And then again, I give that in return. They shoot out a text, call me, say, you don't get to ask questions, I just need this from you, and that's what it is, then that's what it is. That's very important to me, very impactful for me when I find those people. And that's, again, something that I would say is pretty unique about me. is how highly I regard loyalty when it comes to selecting my surroundings.
I would agree. And how lucky for me.
Yeah.
That's something that, I mean, I've always known about you, even as a kid. That was something that was really big for you. So to then go out and see other people and date other people and not ever see anything remotely close to that again, to then be like, wow, what a unique thing about you.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cool thing to get to come back and really appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm like, so lucky
Thank you.
me.
That means a lot.
Awesome. Fun light question.
Yeah.
Do you have a pet? And if so, what kind?
We are huge pet people. Right now, we have 2 dogs and 2 cats and 2 kids. So we have 6 pets in total.
Got him.
No, we have 2 dogs, 2 cats. Our dogs are both Australian cattle dogs, super high energy. One of our cats, I think, is on the cusp of getting her driver's license.
Yeah.
She's a very, very senior cat, so she does not like to put up with those dogs. And to be fair, we have the upstairs of our house and the downstairs of our house separated by a baby gate for the kids. And then we keep the dogs in the downstairs of our house, on the main floor. And then she just hangs out upstairs, with or without the kids, whatever. But she's always up there, so she doesn't have to deal with the dogs. And then our other cat is
a stray.
Yeah. I was walking, we lived kind of kitty corner across the street from one of the jobs that I had before kind of ending up where we are now. And I was walking home one night, and this cat just came up to me and didn't meow, didn't whatever, just followed me to our apartments. And then I sat down outside of our apartments, and he just crawled into my lap and started snuggling. No collar, no nothing. Looked like he had seen better days.
He was struggling.
Yeah. Eyes were all gooped up. Had kind of corners out of his ears, little divots in his ears from fighting, stuff like that. And I sat down, and I didn't expect him to, but he just curled up in my lap, and it was 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes,
early
middle
morning.
of the night.
Yeah. And I was like, if I just leave this cat out here and I tell Mom about this tomorrow morning, she will be furious with me. She will kick me out of the house until I find this cat again and bring him home. So I called her up, and I'm like, hey, what's the play here? It's definitely some kind of stray cat, definitely whatever. What do we do? And we decided to bring him in, kind of sequester him in our apartment, just in case of fleas and stuff like that. Any kind of other sickness. We didn't want him spreading to our other cats at the time. We had 2 other cats at that time. Our senior cat and another one. And we took him into the vet. He wasn't chipped. They didn't feel like he had an owner based on his, how he was, his condition. We posted on Facebook for the area, and we're like, hey, is this anybody's cat? We didn't get any response there. So we got him all cleaned up. And we like to say that he domesticated himself. He saw what the street cat life was like, and it just wasn't for him. And he found the first sucker that he saw walking down the street and just made himself at home. But yeah, he's, I think, a little bit older than our oldest dog. By a year, maybe 2. So he's probably 6, maybe 7-ish now. And I think he thinks he's a dog. He will with the cattle dogs. He will tussle with them like the best of them. They will gang up on him because they're same brain. They're actual half sisters. so like one will be chewing on his neck, another one will be chewing on his tail, and he's just batting them and swatting them and just fighting with them, and like I swear he thinks he's a dog.
Oh yeah. He's so funny.
But yeah, I will talk about our pets forever. I think cattle dogs are some of the smartest breeds. You just take the time to,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and they know. They will test you. They will, whatever. You need to be consistent with them, and yeah, they know. They'll work around you. Set up one rule, they will learn how to break it, so they're not breaking the rule. It's crazy, crazy smart. That was one thing. Getting our first dog, the first cattle dog, I always thought animals were dumb. Not necessarily dumb, but like compared to an adult human, like there's no way that they even compare. But getting our first dog, we were like looking at because she was just crazy. So we're like, what can we do for this thing? And then like get her puzzles. And so we got probably 6 different kinds of puzzles, sliders and lifters and all these kinds of crazy things. And we'd set out treats in them. She'd do the puzzle, we'd fill it up again, she'd do the puzzle again, we'd fill it up again, she'd do the puzzle again, and then she would nap like she just ran 10 miles. And it was so crazy to see that, a dog getting the mental stimulation tires them out just as much, at least our dogs, and cattle dogs. Getting that mental stimulation tires them out just like getting physical stimulation. If you go out and run them, or if you just take 30 minutes and let them do puzzles, they get that same kind of tired.
Yeah.
And the puzzles that she was doing, it wasn't just paw at this thing and then you get a treat. It was, you need to move this thing out of the way to open this door, to push this lever over, that then gives you a treat. And she would, like, first time seeing it, it would be like 20-30 minutes to get it down, and then we'd fill up the puzzle the next time and it was 5 minutes and she's got all the treats out. It's like, what is going on? So we just needed to constantly upgrade her puzzles and get her different ones and cycle them out. I always thought animals were dumb until that dog came into my life and really changed my mind on that.
She's so smart. I always say that she understands English because she
has to,
absolutely, without a doubt. And I know that was something like before kids, like we were doing like the augmentation communication, like the buttons with her.
Yeah.
And it's just fabulous about it. Like she knows exactly how to tell us what she needs. Mm-hmm. And even now without the buttons, she's fabulous about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I tell her everything. I tell her when we're leaving the house. I tell her when we're going to be back home. I tell her like what I need from her. And she's just, it's crazy. You can watch her understand.
Yeah. To see, especially like the puzzles, you can see when she's doing her investigation. And then you can see like in her eyes when she's like, oh, got it. And then she does the thing. That like a spark of recognition, of understanding that she would get. It was so crazy to see, and again, it really opened my eyes to like just like the intelligence that animals can have. That I was just so close-minded before. I didn't think that it was a thing, but yeah, it was. Ever since getting her, there's no doubt in my mind that animals are just as intelligent as some adult humans.
And I always like to say, like, she does like a lot of like the agility stuff in the yard, and then she does her commands really well, and she like zones in on the TV. Like, I love putting on like dog shows for her, and one of the things is like the wall jump is one that she loves and is so good at. So like you hold a ball like straight arm above her head, and she like runs up, feet on the chest, jumps up, grab the ball, and runs. And that's like my favorite. Like, she is just she's so agile and intelligent. And so like I always like to say that she's like that like farm dog. Like, she is, give me a job, I'll get a job done.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, our second dog, not the same level of intelligence, but she is a cattle dog.
Yeah.
Like, she is, if you put her on a ranch,
Yeah.
she will absolutely get it done.
There is zero instruction needed for her. If we threw her on a ranch, she would do the thing immediately. Like, no doubt in my mind, she would understand exactly what the expectation is.
Yes.
And she would herd those cattle, herd the cattle exactly where they need to be.
Yes.
Yeah, no, because she does that to me. She does that to the kids. She does that to other dogs at daycare.
She does that too when we let the first dog outside. If she does not come in the second we ask, she goes in and rounds her up.
Yep.
And like, it's the funniest thing. We've never taught her that. She just like goes for it. And she, like, if the dog comes in at, like, if we told her to come in and she comes in right away, she won't flinch. She leaves the dog completely alone. If the dog comes in and we had called for her more than once, she will go in there and she will drive into her. She's like, how dare you not listen to mom?
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny. And yeah, it's such a different level of like that natural intelligence. And it's just
very cool.
Such a cool thing to see.
Yeah.
We have good pets.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started on the cats, because we did talk about them a lot, but we didn't even talk about our oldest cat and her, like, fishing games that she plays. And she is the mother goose upstairs. Like, she hovers from kid room to kid room and, like, watches them. And they're a great group.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about them again on the podcast. But it is definitely time to move on to our final question for the evening.
Yes.
If you were a bartender, what famous person would you most like to serve?
Well, I don't think you could guess my answer.
I think I could guess your answer.
We could call this episode The Night We Talked About Taylor Swift.
No.
Well, that's absolutely who I'd want to serve a drink to. Also, I want to know what she's drinking. She looks like she's got fun taste.
Yeah.
And so...
Apple teeny.
Well, no. People online can tell you what some of those drinks are, but like, regardless, that's the answer for me. No, not even a discussion. That's my girl. There's not a lot of people that I'm like fangirl celebrity over, but that's my girl. Yeah. She's great on every level. So I'll get her a drink any day.
You and I had the conversation recently of never be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
So that I think like my thing would be, and obviously he's leagues above me, so I'm sure everything that he would talk about I would have no idea, but like Neil deGrasse Tyson would be cool. Anybody who is smarter than me, just to be able to pick their brain about whatever. I'm a huge lover of knowledge. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I just enjoy knowing more than I did before. So yeah, he would be a really, really cool one. I feel like he has a special way of like breaking things down. I've seen him do like interviews and stuff like that, so a normal human can understand kind of the concepts that he's talking about. So I think that he would be a really, really cool person to, like, if I could just bend his ear for 15 minutes while he was having a drink.
Yeah,
that'd be very cool. But yeah, again, anybody smarter than me for sure.
Yeah,
that'd be my answer.
It's almost anyone now.
Yeah, most anybody for sure. And that's the cool thing about humans. Sorry, I'm going off on a small tangent here. I could be incredibly smart in whatever, and very not smart in economics. So a person who is mildly well versed in economics could still teach me something about economics, even though maybe overall they're less intelligent, quotes, air quotes for those who can't see me, even though they may be less intelligent than me, like overall they still have this area of expertise that I don't have. So there are so many ways to define people that are smarter than me. And there are so many things that I know nothing about. But yeah, that'd be for sure my answer.
I love it. Alright. Well, then I think it's time for us to wrap it up. And to everyone out there, you as well, thank you for wandering beside us. May your night be soft, your questions light, and your path aglow until we meet again.